What's up, YouTube? I'm Fitz and I'm ready to talk. I am back with a review for the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 15, Episode 8, Rollerstakes and Blind Dates. Look, y'all, I think this review is probably going to be a little lengthy, so bear with me. Also, I'm going to put my editing in there before this actual review starts, but I'm going to say, can y'all please subscribe? I've noticed that people been looking and liking and not subscribing. So y'all, can y'all please subscribe? Hit that subscribe button if you have not done so. I definitely appreciate it. All right, let's get into the review. Okay, so the episode starts off at Drew's house. She is talking to her assistant. Her assistant name is Danielle. She's sitting there talking to her about her dance moves for You Already Know. Y'all already know I always sing that little like that because the song is a little bop. So she's telling her how she already got the dance moves for the video. She asks her, does she want to see? And Danielle's like, yeah, show me. You know, she's like, you got pictures? And Drew's like, nah, I got it down. I can do it right now. So Drew goes, hey, Alexa. I can't be too loud because I don't want mine to go off. Hey, Alexa, play You Already Know by Drew Sidora. And Alexa's like, we cannot find this, we can't find it. And she's just like, she tries it again. She says, hey, Alexa, play, You Already Know by Drew Sidora. And it comes up. And I cracked up because I was like, girl, how embarrassing. Because production always, even if it hadn't worked, if Drew would have put on her phone and had to play it from her phone because Alexa didn't have it in her search engine, they would have played that. And it would have been embarrassing. But it did come up. And Drew starts trying to show her dance moves. She could not remember for the life of her. She was like, she hasn't danced in 2 years. So, this is a refresher, right? Like this is something that she has to work at to get it back, right? What they say, you don't use it, you're gonna lose it. So she goes ahead, she tries, and then saving grace, Ralph walks in. So Ralph walks in and they start bringing up the conversation regarding her sister, Allison. Allison apparently was her manager a couple years ago. She said pre-COVID she was her manager, and Allison ended up having like a breakdown, right? Like her life was just kind of spinning out of control. Hey, that's kind of, I'm like, get on board with everybody else, right? Like we all kind of feel that way, right? So she had like a little breakdown. She decided to step away from the acting as manager for Drew, and Drew understood. They showed a little clip of Allison crying, just saying, she feels bad because, Drew was used to her being her manager, right? And she has to step away. And Drew was just like, no, you have to do what's best for you, which is great. I love to hear that. I was like, I love when people can be selfless, although I assume she was a good manager, they're sisters, but she wanted her sister to choose herself first, regardless of her career and what she added to her career. She needed for her sister to focus on her mental health, which was great. But then, of course, Drew shares that the sister and Ralph bumped heads a lot. Apparently, the sister was saying that Ralph is controlling, and it caused Ralph to then ban the sister from her house. Drew lets us know it has been I think she said 4 years since she was banned from her house. So I assume that she still was acting as manager, even though she was banned from, from Ralph and Drew's home. So that was just sad, but the sister is coming in, coming to Atlanta for the video shoot to help support Drew. And, Ralph is just kind of like, well, I don't know how this is going to work. I may have to leave. And first when he first said that, I was kind of like, this is her sister. But at the end of the day, peace is peace, right? And at least he's not like, oh, she can't come. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, most of the time, like prior seasons and even prior episodes, Ralph was like an asshole to me. But I could respect him for saying I would just remove myself. Now, we don't know what the motives behind him removing himself for. Maybe it might be a little side chick on the side he just can go to go be with. But, and that's allegedly, but nonetheless, if he is just doing the right thing and just saying, I don't want to cause any more confusion, don't want you to feel uncomfortable, don't want her to feel uncomfortable, I'll just remove myself from the home. I ain't mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. So the next scene, we do check in with Sheree. We see Sheree's at home. She's going through her baby line. I guess she's releasing a baby line for She by Sheree, which was so adorable. She had a picture of her granddaughter in the clothes. She was on a FaceTime with her ops manager, she said, Joe, and he was going through and showing her what we'll be posting on the website. And it was adorable. So he's just showing her this is what it's gonna look like, and we're gonna get it posted. Supposedly it's supposed to be posted in 2 weeks. So she will have baby gear up for purchase, hopefully. So then that she closed out that conversation. She did kind of get on them saying, "Oh, well, every time I see you, you have on a hat, but you don't have on She by Sheree gear. I need for you to have on She by Sheree." And I'm thinking to myself, like, Sheree, you don't really wear your own shit either. Like, it's not like you always wear your gear. Shit, how often have we seen her in in a She by Sheree outfit, like on the show? Like, so I'm like, how are you getting at somebody else for not wearing your line when you barely wear your own line? But that's neither here nor there. So Sheree then, she hangs up with Joe, and then she picks up her phone and she texts Candy and says, she wants to have a sit down with Candy because, just some things that they need to get, talk about. So Candy agrees. We see the text message thread. I thought it was pretty cool how Bravo had them both read their text messages, in their voice, so we could hear them read their text messages. It was kind of a cool nice little touch. So like I said, production for this show has been great. They have been doing their damn thing. It's a lot of different little things they've been adding to the show to kind of make it more entertaining, which is. So then we bounce over to Marlo's house. I believe it was her house. Like, she was probably like in a home office. So she is hosting on IG Live. It is called Foster Care Fridays, which she then has like a panel of people, just kind of share their experiences about foster care and, give advice and all that stuff, which I think is pretty cool. We know she has a non-profit, so that's cool. I love that she's doing that, giving back to the community, because she's been through that, right? She shared with us that she was a foster kid. So I was like, okay, all right, Marlo, that's cool. I like that you're showing that. So y'all, I can say some nice stuff about Marlo. So then Sonya walks in, and Sonya, just kind of says they do all a little chit chat. They just say hey, and I thought it was funny that Marlo was like, yeah, I've been working out. I'm trying to get like you, and she's like, I'm trying to get a size 2 like you, and Sonya's like a size 4. You're more like a size 4, and I laughed because I was like, okay, I love that. I love the little banter. I love when people just can show their true, banter on television. Like, it's not forced, right? It seems like they actually probably really do kind of talk on the phone. Regardless now if Sonya knows Marlo like all that well, they apparently they do have a good little banter, friendship, for the sake of the show, or hopefully it's not just for the sake of the show, but we'll see how all this unfolds, because we know how Marlo can be. Like I said last episode, Sonya, tread lightly. So then, of course, they sit down and Candy does come up. Marlo just kind of pretty much just says that she's, hurt behind the way Candy has reacted to everything. Sonya says, well, she hates that she feels like she knows Marlo in a different light than the girls do. And I'm like, red flag, Sonya, red flag. And she just like, she wished that the girls knew her the same way that she feels like she knows her. She lets Marlo know she feels like she gets triggered around the girls. And Marlo does say she does get triggered, and then that's when she goes to the conversation about Candy. And she just says, she's hurt behind the fact that Candy said, fuck your flowers. When Sonya asked her, they were having a discussion at brunch last episode. And then Marlo says something that's crazy as hell. Marlo says that she feels like by Candy saying fuck your flower, she's saying fuck your dead nephew and fuck your sister. Two totally different things. She says that Marlo then says that she feels like, since she been knowing Candy for so long, she feels like Candy should have said, I'm sorry about what happened to your nephew, and I'm sorry to your sister, which she did. In the text message, she did say, I'm sorry. So it's like, she said, I'm sorry to hear that. So I just don't know where Marlo is misreading the communication prior, when she first told Candy. It just seems like, and that's why I said, it seems like she's just reaching for a storyline. She just wants to have a storyline as far as this goes. And why not pick, like I said on a lot of my reviews, why not pick the top dog, right? The person that is a fan favorite. Why not pick her to attack? Because it's kind of like, what is all this for? Like, what are you getting from it other than a storyline? And then at the end of the day, Marlo, you're looking stupid as hell, because I think most people kind of feel the same way I do, to where you're reaching. Why reach? There's no need to reach. Why reach? So, anywho, Marlo goes ahead and she shares with Sonya that she's going on a blind date. If you guys remember, her friends told her that they were going to try to set her up with someone, and she's going on a blind date. And Sonya, she does share with Sonya that he's Jamaica. Sonya's like, that's what you need. Of course, Sonya reps hard for Jamaica. Okay, so we finally get to the scene with Candy and Sheree. As I said earlier on the review, Sheree reached out to Candy to have a sit down, just a one-on-one. And one thing that Candy did say that I did disagree with, and I'm, I would hope once she watches this and she sees I watch, watch the show because I'm sure she ain't gonna see me, but watch the show. I hope she does agree with what Sheree says. Sheree does say, so Kendi says, I don't understand why she reached out to me now when she didn't reach out when we were at the brunch. That was a brunch to settle all the differences, right? And if Sheree had a problem, why she didn't approach her at the brunch. Sheree in her confessional does say, because I guess the producer probably asked her, well, why didn't you reach out to Kendi? You had that brunch situation. Why you didn't announce that you had a issue with Kendi there? And Sheree does say like, me and Kendi have a real relationship. Like, we've been knowing each other for years. I just don't think I need to announce it to the group. I can just handle this one-on-one. And I was like, okay, I like that. Sheree, Sheree always plays like the middle ground. I like her one season, I don't like her next season. She's an OG, so it's like, she helped create this brand of Real Housewives of Atlanta. So you can only respect that, right? But we know she can be a bone carrier and all that shit. So but I have, like I told you guys, I do watch Speak on it. So Kendi has said that Sheree is really a good person, so that I never felt either way. Like I said, she's just kind of been in the middle for me. But that shined through. That made me feel like, okay, you must be a cool person. Like, so they're sitting down in the park. Sheree comes all minked out, red bottoms on, and Kendi got a little jogger outfit, which I'm like, I would think, of course you should be relaxed. You're going to the park, so why you are dressed up? But whatever, hey, Beverly Hills housewives do it all the time. They always are, dolled all the way up. So why not? Atlanta can do it too. So, they sit down, they talk, they start talking, and it starts off pleasant. It starts off, Kendi asking about the glam baby and, how she like being a glam ma. And, Sheree says she loves it, and, they kind of just banter back and forth about small talk, about how life is, right? And then, boom, Sheree goes into the conversation about why Kendi keeps, talking bad about her business online. As y'all know, we have seen Kendi say a couple things about, She by Sheree, about how it wasn't available for purchase, which all of the stuff has been true. And it's not like Kendi's the only one that has said that. Everybody has said it, right? Like, it's literally a fact. Like, we know that your site crashed, and then when it did come up, nothing on there was shown on the show when you had your little fashion show. Like, none of that stuff was available for purchase. So it was kind of like, well, what the hell is going on? So, Sheree just kind of feels like, well, why would you do that? And then Sheree start saying, oh, you had a boutique and you can only wash this stuff one time. Like, she started getting offended because Kendi was kind of like, yeah, like what I said was true. Like, it's not like it wasn't true. And, she said, and she was like, well, and Sheree was like, we went to Old Lady Gang. I brought 12 people and none of the stuff was available. She was just going in. Like, she was just going in. And Kendi just was like, okay, like, and Kendi was spitting fire too. Cause, Kendi was like, well, Sheree by Shein, like, it is what it is. And Sheree was, Sheree was like, it's not by Shein, it's by Sheree. And we all know that she clearly got it from a production company, right? Just slapped her logo on it, like, clearly, because people have shown proof of that online, of things sold on Shein, and Sheree, the only difference is that her logo's on it, right? So Sheree was just kind of upset about that, and they finally did calm down, because I felt it was getting very, very heightened, like they were just going at each other. And sometimes that happens. When you get into an argument and you feel like you kind of have to fight for your life, you can just go there. So they both kind of calmed down. And Kendi was like, why are we even arguing like this? She was like, I did not come to argue with you. And Sheree was like, me either, and they were just like, and finally, and I was thinking in my head this whole time, Kendi, just apologize. Like, if you hurt somebody's feelings, and you may not have meant to hurt somebody's feelings, but they feel like their feelings are hurt, they're entitled to have those feelings. And although you didn't mean to do that, the right thing to do is just to apologize and say, hey, that is not what I meant to do. By my statements, I do apologize. So Kendi does do that. I was like, good, Kendi, thank you. Let's get past this shit. Like, let's get past it. And Sheree accepts it. And then they just go in and walk off into the sunset. And they laugh. And, they're back into being in good graces. And that's what I like to see. So then we have this little brief scene of Kendi, Todd, and I don't know who that lady was. She was somebody on the production for, Todd's movie. The one about the one night stand, or the one pass, like what's called the pass. So, it's where the couples give their partners a pass for one night or whatever. So apparently Todd sees Drew as the leading lady. I thought that's pretty interesting. Candy, I guess there's a character in the show that Candy, or the movie, that Candy was going to play, but Candy says she doesn't feel comfortable being the opposite of Drew, which I understand. That's too close home. Like, y'all already own Real Housewives of Atlanta. It just, it would just seem a little corny, right? Just automatically, like, okay, that's corny. I think it's going to kind of be a little corny that Drew's going to be in it anyway, but then again, Drew can actually kind of act. She actually has some acting chops, so I can see her actually being in like a movie. That's cool. She's been in movies before, right? So Candy just kind of says, she doesn't think would be a fit for her. Apparently, the character that Drew or Candy would be playing would be a lesbian that turns out women. Drew is going to play a married woman, so I'm assuming that maybe they would have some interaction, and that's probably why Candy's saying she wouldn't feel comfortable. So I get that. I thought that was actually like a smart idea.
What? Are you recording now?
I am.
Oh, I didn't hear you talking.
I paused because I was taking a sip. I'm trying to get to the next scene.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I was going to ask you if you want me to get you something, but you already got it.
Yeah. You gonna have some? Oh, okay.
I haven't had any.
Las Vegas did a good ride for you, didn't it?
I really wasn't drunk in Vegas.
Good job. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Good job. You gonna take him? Well, just wait till I'm done. I'm almost done. I have 2 more scenes and I'll be done. Okay. Next scene is at Drew's house. Drew it's a quick little brief scene. It was like I like that it was a lot of cuts in this episode. I guess they wanted to fit everything in there so they can build up the story with Drew and Ralph, right? Because we all know apparently they're getting a divorce, so it seems like they're trying to build it up there because most of this season has been about Marlo and Candy and their drama, but we hear hints about what's going on with Drew and Ralph. Remember the first episode, Ralph showed up alone to the event, right? Drew wasn't there. He said because Drew had a family crisis, and everybody was like, "Nigga, ain't that your family? So why are you not there with her?" Like little clips, trying to build up. So this little scene, Drew is sitting down with her mom. Her mom has arrived to Atlanta to support her for a video shoot, and she's just showing her mom the shoot, showing her like the different areas where they'll be shooting at, like a skating ring, I guess it's a penthouse, and she tells her mom, "Oh, you can't be there because it's like a love scene or whatever." And of course, we know Drew is the leading man, right? So that's pretty cool. And then, of course, the sister actually was supposed to be there, apparently, because Drew said that she brought the chef in. The chef is there cooking. The chef was there to make vegan food for her sister, but her sister was running late. So I think that production just decided to make the best of the scene. They just kind of had some little small talk. And then they put a little, put some words up on the screen and says, production wrapped at 10:30. Then they say 2 hours later. So apparently the sister arrives at that's 12:30. So sister arrives. Apparently it must be taped by Drew or somebody because production is going already. They said they wrapped. So 12:30 a.m. Sister shows up. Drew is hugging her, and Drew says in her confessional that Ralph went to sleep, and she feels some type of way about that Ralph didn't stay up to greet her sister. And I'm like, ma'am, I'm like, I don't like me and I don't agree with Ralph on a lot of shit, but so far this episode I didn't agree with him twice, which is a little scary to me. If he's tired, he's tired. If she's supposed to be at 10:30, now if she got there at 10:30, he wasn't up. Come on, fool. Like 10:30, you can stay up. You said hello, hug, and go to bed. Fine. But if she getting there the next morning, because we all must remember 12:30 a.m. is technically the next morning. So if he didn't feel like staying up until 12:30 a.m., the man doesn't have to stay up. You know what I'm saying? He'll catch her in the morning. So and especially when the plan was for her to be there at 10:30, because you have production here at the house ready to shoot a scene with y'all, and she's not there. So I agree. I'm like, Drew don't feel no type of way about that. Like at the end of the day, he doesn't have to be there. So I literally was like, okay, girl. But that was a quick little scene. So they hug, sister cries, they're happy to see each other, and then we go on to the next scene. So we get into the next scene. Of course, the next scene is going to be the big day, Drew's video shoot, for you already know. So I'm gonna do that every time, y'all. So Drew, they're at the skating ring. Kenya, Manetta, Sanya, and Courtney shows up. And they're all excited. Of course, Marlo's not there and Candy's not there. Kenya does ask where's Candy, and Drew says, well, Candy didn't tell her she wasn't coming, but Marlo wasn't invited. So that is what it is. The shoot, was kind of cute. I will say I did go ahead and watch the video, and the video kind of was everywhere. It was very, very HD crystal fucking clear. She definitely spent some money on it. You can tell the production was great, but I just didn't understand the video. I didn't understand it. And oh, Yendy was in it from 11 Hip Hop. I did see her in the video. She actually played like Drew like best friend, because that was the last girl she was with. You know, like it had scenes together, just them two. So I just didn't understand the video. It was kind of like everywhere. I didn't get the vision behind the video, but like I said, it was good quality, so I will give that to Drew. So back to the skating ring. You know, they're shooting a video. Drew can't skate. She has an instructor there. Apparently, she says she can skate, but she looks really wobbly on the damn skates. But that's neither here nor there. Science is kind of like, why would you have, you know, you tear her Achilles, ruptured that motherfucker at, you know, last year when we were running, you know, when Sonya took them all to Jamaica and they did that little race and then she hurt herself. The Sonya's like, why would you have a skating video and you can't skate? That sounds like a recipe for disaster. Kenya then says, and you all know Kenya shady. Kenya then says that the video seemed like a low budget Beyonce blow video. And I must agree. I must fucking agree. It was very, it was like I said, great production, but the storyline just was everywhere. Y'all go watch it. Y'all go check. Give Drew some views. You already know Drew Sidor. It was very everywhere. Y'all come back and let me know what y'all thought about it, because it was everywhere. I was lost. So then we do see her sister. Her sister's there. While Drew was shooting, her mom and her sister are sitting by each other, and Ralph they were kind of like not really interacting with each other, but then Ralph does come over to the sister, which I was like, that's big of him. Good job. Like, we know we have heard the history behind y'all this episode, so great to see you try to be a bigger man, right? Because we know Ralph can be very, very petty. So he does, you know, walk up to his sister and tells his sister, you know, oh, you know, how are you doing? You know, how you liking the shoot so far? And she goes, oh, I had this in a dream, you know, her skating. And you know, I told her before she ruptured her Achilles that she should have done this, you know, done a video on skates. And Drew said, and Ralph says, well, that means you meant to be here. And they hug, you know, and the sister start crying, you know, so it was great. The sister start crying, and then Drew comes off from the scene she just shot and, you know, comes in and is like, why are you crying? Because I'm sure the first thing she's thinking, like, did Ralph say something crazy? And no, she's seen that they actually are bonding. Ralph then says in his confessional, yes, Ralph has a confessional, he then says that he can see their relationship growing, their bond growing. And I'm like, good job. Like, okay, Ralph, like clearly you might have seen the way you were received last season and the season before that, I believe. Yeah, he was acting like an asshole too. Pretty much since Drew been on this damn show. He's been like, everybody kind of been like, I got my good eye on you. So it's great to see him kind of like evolve and take notes. The only thing that I hope it ain't fake, hoping it's not just for TV, because now we know they're going through a divorce, right? But we do, you know, we're seeing it. We're seeing that he's trying to grow as a man. Some things that you think you shouldn't say. So that's good to see him do that. Good to see him, you know, grow up. All right, so the last and final scene, y'all, we finally made it to the finish line. So Marlo's getting ready for her big date, her blind date. She has her friends there. I love that she calls her friends her village. Love that. And her nephews are helping her get ready. One of the friends asks her nephew, Michael, you know, do you want your auntie to find an uncle for you? And he's just like, no. So I'm like, that's a hell no, right? He just can't say that. So Marlo goes ahead and goes away. She gets ready, you know, she leaves. She says bye to everybody. She goes and gets in her car, being driven by her driver. And she goes ahead and FaceTime Sonya. She calls FaceTime. She's like, Sonya, why you didn't call me? You ain't called me, you know, and I had my, you know, I have my date today. And Sonya's just like, oh, I was at Drew's video shoot, so I'm sorry, but, you know, congratulations. Just be relaxed. You know, don't think about the boys. Don't think about anything else but this date. Have a good time. And Marlo's like, you know what? I'm going to call Drew. I'm going to call that bitch. You know, she probably don't like me, right? She don't like me anyway, so I'm going to call her. And she's like, I didn't get the invite, so I'm going to call her. So as she's calling her, she's like, this bitch probably won't answer. And she's just talking. Marlo said, you know, she's from Florida. I understand. I do, you know, shout out to Funky Daniva. I get that Florida people have some type of like, they're just a little straightforward, right? They have a way of saying things that can cut, apparently. So you still have to be courteous. Like if somebody's not your close friend and they don't know you, some things you have to edit out because they don't know you and they can take it the wrong way. That's with anybody. You know what I'm saying? You just have to kind of just watch how you approach people, because you don't want people to have the wrong image of you because you're just saying, well, I'm from Florida. Like that's not enough. You know what I'm saying? You have to kind of edit some things, as far as, you know, some things you have table talk about. You don't have to bring it to people that don't know you. You know what I'm saying? I know some people are like that, and they could say keeping it real, but it's like everybody knows how to do that. Everybody knows how to will it back, because most people work a 9 to 5. So at work, you're not keeping it real. So sometimes you have to approach different, I won't say friendships, different relationships in that manner. And when you do, it can bloom. You know what I'm saying? Then the person you can show them, you know, you keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? You could throw sprinkles of that in there, but you just kind of gotta be a little mindful of that. So Marlo calls Drew. Drew was like, oh, you called me. She's like, hey. And she asked her what she doing, which I'm like, girl, you already knew what she's doing. And first of all, Marlo goes, hey, beautiful. You know, right before you were just saying this bitch is fake. Like, it's a weird thing. And this is like, Marlo, you're so fake. Like, I don't know if you forget that the camera is rolling. Like, I'm sorry. Yes, y'all, this is time for Marlo ass to be grilled. I don't know if you forget the cameras are rolling or something, but you seem like you have like split personalities. Like, you're saying this bitch is fake, fuck this bitch, and then next time you're saying hi beautiful. That's not real. That's not you being real. If you truly feel like that about her, why are you even calling her? And if production told you to call her, no, you guys about to shoot me going on a date. I ain't gonna call her Drew, because me and Drew are on good terms. But anyway, she calls Drew, hey beautiful. Drew's like, well, you know, I'm shocked you called me. What are you calling me for? And you know, she's like, oh, you know, I just want to call you and congratulate you on your music video. Drew was just like, well, you know, I'm gonna keep it real. The energy that you brought to me, you know, I didn't understand the energy that you've been bringing to me. I thought we were on good terms. I don't understand it. And then Marlo then says, you're right, I apologize. You're right, I apologize. She does say, you know, she agrees in a way. She agrees and disagrees in a way with what Drew was saying, because Drew was, you know, kind of going on a tangent about, you know, she just doesn't understand where it's coming from, whatever. But Marlo apologizes, right? And like I said, when you make somebody feel a certain way, even if you didn't mean to, I do agree. As long as, I mean, you know when to and when not to, right? You know when to hold them and when to fucking fold them. So the right thing would to be, because clearly Marlo was fucking out of pocket. Marlo says that, you know, I'm sorry, I didn't know that you didn't understand who I was because I'm from Florida. You know, we do say, you know, bitch, I didn't think you would be upset about me saying bitch to you, and Drew was like that, but the energy behind it, you know, like, come on, that's not, I hate when people do that. Don't play like somebody's dumb. Like, there's different tones, right? There's different, your actions, your body language all speaks loudly, sometimes louder than your words, right? So you saying bitch, girl, whatever, other than you saying, well, bitch, fuck y'all, bitch. There's a difference, right? There's a difference. Look at the contrast of the both, right? So Drew was just like, yeah, the energy you bring it. And as Drew was going on, the phone hangs up. And how I know it hangs up, because it goes dum dum dum. Anybody that got an iPhone knows when you FaceTime somebody, they hang up on you, it goes, or disconnects, it goes da 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 da. Marlo says, mind you, it hangs up, and Marlo says, I had to hang up on that bitch because that bitch fake. That bitch, her wig was coming up, just ragging her. I'm just like, what? Where's this energy? You just was apologizing to this woman. And now, as soon as the phone hangs up, and then you say you hung up onto the camera, because it's like, anybody that, like I said, if you know you have an iPhone, it only does that when somebody hangs up on you. If you hang up on a person, it doesn't do that. The receiver will hear that, but you won't hear the dun 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 part, right? So she says, you know, I had to hang up on that bitch, you know, she raggedy, she looked raggedy now, she bad body, her husband don't want her. I mean, just being nasty. And I'm just like, damn, like, Marlo, you're, like, what is going on with you? You really do need some loving. Like, something wrong with you, girl, something wrong. And we're on Marlo's date, her blind date. So she gets out the car, she's still in the car, and she says, a strip mall, because mind you, it was like in a strip mall area. You know, y'all know what a strip mall is. Somewhere that has a bunch of different stores there, and it's a restaurant. So she gets out the car. She's like, I first at the strip mall. Like, she's kind of turning her nose up to it. She gets in there, and then she sees her date, Scott Lee. Scott Lee is her blind date. He's actually the owner of the restaurant, and the restaurant actually looked kind of nice. He was sitting there sipping on an old fashioned. Y'all, I'm sipping on an old fashioned in honor. That's one of my favorite drinks. So, you know, they're sitting there kind of just, you know, chatting, whatever, having a conversation. He says that he's 39. He has a 15-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 1-year-old. And I'm like, run, Marlo, because that is 1-year-old. That's 12 months. Like that's not that old. Like, man, you literally the baby just came out. Like, that's not enough to try to build a true relationship with somebody that has a 1-year-old. That's a little bit much. So he just she's like, well, are you sure you're not cheating? Like, are you sure you're single? Like, you have 1-year-old, you're still not tied to her or whatever. And he's like, no, I'm not, things don't work out, whatever. So, they're just chatting it up. And like I said, he was the restaurant owner, so he orders all the food, which I love that. It was nice. The setup was nice. The drinks looked amazing. The food looked good. He ordered some shrimp with the head on, which I hate that, y'all. That's disgusting to me. They bring it to the table, and then this is where I was like, he started trying to make sexual jokes about her sucking the head and doing whatever with it. I'm just like, bro, like, I understand, I get it, on dates you do that, but not your first one. Like, can we get at least a second, third, fourth, fifth one? You're 39, you should know better than that. But Marlo takes like a champ, what I'm saying? She ain't really tripping about it. So, they just continue to talk. He says that he did, she asks him, oh, well, do you have any skeletons I need to know about? And he does share that he has been in jail. He had been in there for 6 months. So, it is what it is. Like, they kind of just hit it off. Marlo's like, well, yeah, at least he won't judge me because I've been in jail too. Like, we have something in common. So I thought that was cool. Marlo goes ahead and has one more little cocktail, and she's like, I gotta go. And I love that. I love a lady. Like, although Marlo, I think we all. We think about her. I ain't gonna say me. We think about her, but she has a way of being classy at moments, right? Like, I love that. I love that she was like, well, I gotta go. I'm gonna have this little sip of this drink and I'm out. You sit here and just watch me walk away. And I love that. All right, y'all. That is the end of a review. Thank y'all for sitting here and watching it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Please comment. That is something that I like engaging. All right, y'all. I'm gone.